Welcome to our channel. I'm Kiki
and Coco,
and today we're going to be doing a haul video on all the Colourpop items that we've both purchased.
We recently got into a lot of Colourpop and we've never had Colourpop before.
Yes.
Just because it was in the States and
we just didn't have access to it, and we were like, we didn't want to deal with conversions or shipping, and we've discovered some pretty amazing stuff now that we've dealt with it basically. So let's start off. So when you first get Colourpop, it comes in this really cute box. I'm not going to show you the cover because there's nothing, but when you open it, it basically, this is the empty box. It basically comes like this. Look how pretty that cover is, right?
And it varies too. You get like different patterns each time.
Oh really? I didn't know that. And then you get like a cute card that basically just like says this from Colourpop. It's just a thank you note.
It changes every time too.
Really?
Yeah,
it
starts handwritten, and then you can tell they just photocopy the handwritten thing and send it to you.
Yeah.
Thought so.
And they always, I think, give you this little tiny pamphlet, and it basically tells you how to use their shadows because it's slightly different, and how to keep it so that it doesn't like get really hard and you find that it's not as nice as before, and it just gives you like a little introduction to all the differences between like their lippy sticks, their matte lipsticks, and whatnot.
Yeah, basically like how to use and care for them.
Yeah, so let's get started. We've got quite a couple of things going on, right? Okay, let's get started with our pressed shadows that are brand new.
So recently Colourpop, well before Colourpop always had amazing selections of eyeshadows, but there were the Super Shock eyeshadows, which would be in individual pots. But recently they came out with pressed shadows.
I mean, they're really special because these come in a Z palette now, so they're easier to keep if you have your own giant Z palette because it's magnetic, so you can just plop them in, and it's really great for keeping. And these are like you can use a brush more easily, because I know the old shadows, the pigment isn't as nice when you use a brush.
That's true. And one of my pet peeves about Colourpop before is that every color was in an individual pot. So if I were to get like 3 colors for an eyeshadow, I literally have to dig out each and every individual like color, whereas for a palette I could just have it all in one casing and it'll be perfect. So I am wearing all these colors right now on my eyeshadow, or my eyes. And yeah, I really like them. We're gonna swatch them for you later. And I have 4 colors with me, which I'm definitely gonna get more in the future. So starting on this side over here, we have Liar Liar. It's a very nice peachy, reflective shimmer.
Kind of nude almost.
And then second one is a Wait For It, which is a matte, vibrant, peachy orange. Third one is Come and Get It.
Kind of almost like a pinkish, purplish combination with a really nice metallic shimmer.
And last one over here is called Stay Golden. A bit confused by the name because it's not anything related to gold, but it's this very nice matte raspberry color.
Almost kind of like rose brick.
And this one, like I got this casing for free when I bought 4 eyeshadows. And each shadow here costs $5 US, so that would roughly amount to $6.25 here, I'd want to say. Don't quote me on that, but roughly around that. And when I bought 4 shadows, or of a certain amount, they also came with this. And this is how each shadow comes in each individual package. A little cute casing like this, and this is called a Milli.
And it's another pressed shadow, and this is kind of like their special event thing for getting pressed shadows at the time, and it basically came free. And
this is how big they are if you don't see it in the casing, because it might look a little bit smaller, and you get a pretty good general like sizing for it. They are a bit more chalky, I'd say, but pretty much on the high end of quality of things. I would put them on top of, like I said before, they're better than Too Faced and Smashbox, I would find. You're not going to get your buttery quality as like Anastasia Beverly Hills, but these are really good to work with, and they come with abundance of colors. And because they just started, you're going to definitely have a lot more colors in the future.
Going on next, we've got some, I've got one blush that I really want to talk about, and this one is basically the Super Shock Cheek. And I was really into this blush because I don't have a color anything like it. And I'm actually wearing it today, I don't know if you can tell. And it's kind of this almost kind of nudie brick rose pink. And this is called Between the Sheets. And it's just really, really nice. The thing about applying Super Shock blushes is that using brushes aren't really the best idea because they're super moist and buttery, so you're not going to be able to really pick up the product
or even get an even application of
it. So what I ended up doing is you can either do with your fingers because they actually kind of melt out very well onto your cheeks if you work like nicely, like in a circle motion, kind of tapping onto your cheeks. But I actually used a dampened beauty blender and using the rounder side, and I just dabbed it onto my cheeks. So.
I was amazed when she brought that up. I was like, oh my god, that is so much better, because I've just been using my fingers and dabbing around the circle area that I want, and it's not even that nice of a
with the beauty blender you get like a really nice like even finish. Next, moving on, let's talk about a lip product that both of us ended up purchasing, although different colors. Mine is the Ultra Metallic Lip, and I've never purchased any metallic lip products before, although I was very interested when Lancome, when they first launched their metallic lips, the colors were a little bit too out there for me. Yeah, I saw those and I was like, okay, maybe I don't think I can manage with those on a day-to-day basis. So this one is their Ultra Metallic Lip. This one is called Flitter, and you'll see that it's just this really nice kind of golden peachy metallic shimmer, but the texture is super buttery. It dries onto your lips, but it doesn't over dry them like how you would have some of their other ultra matte lip.
And this one I have here is an ultra glossy lip, and it's very, very, very glossy and glittery. There's a lot of shimmers in it. It's very similar to the one that you have of like Dior, I'd like to say. Yeah, very metallic looking. There's a lot of different shimmers into it. You have a dough-like applicator like this. It's not a brush.
Next, moving on, we've got some more eyeshadows, and this time I had purchased, because I've never really used any of the Colourpop eyeshadows before. She has, because she purchased them like a week or two ahead of time, maybe a couple weeks. But so I decided to kind of look up some of their most popular eyeshadows, and I've discovered that these are kind of their best sellers. I've got two collections. The first one I purchased was the Love Line one, and it basically comes in a box like this, and it's just got 4 eyeshadows in there, and they're Truth, Sequin, Bratty, and Static, and they're super gorgeous.
She actually ended up buying
the same eyeshadow in a different collection, so we're going to talk about that in a quick second. So I give it to her because she doesn't have it.
So clearly she loves that color a lot.
Well, it just was in that same collection, and I like the other colors in that collection. It was just a good deal. So the first one is Truth that I got, and it's just this really nice kind of pale nude color that's perfect as a undertone for your eyes. And the next one I want to talk about, it's Brady, and this one is just this really nice kind of burgundy brick red. Next one is Sequin, and this one is absolutely amazing. It's this like metallic shimmer. It's got these really fine micro glitters in them, and it's this kind of brownish, almost
like a rusty copper.
Yeah, it's super pretty. Lastly in this set is Static, and it's this kind of darker red. It's kind of more of a brownish burgundy red.
Maroon.
And it's also got some micro shimmers in it as well. The second palette that I ended up purchasing turned out to be so gorgeous.
I love this, yeah.
I did not expect this big of a set, to be honest. I thought they were like just gonna be a small one like this one, but it was huge like this.
And they're always cheaper in sets too.
Yeah,
they probably like knocked off $3-4 just on buying a bigger set.
I mean, that's almost like an extra shadow, so
exactly,
why not? And then and it came with a mirror, which is so awesome. And you can see one's missing because I already gave it to her. So this was where Truth was. Next I'm gonna talk about Lala. This is really gorgeous, kind of golden, coppery, really light coppery brownish micro shimmer shadow. Next we've got So Quiche, and it's this brownish with a slight silverish micro shimmer. And then we have Millionaire. This brown is a little bit more golden compared to the other ones. The micro shimmers are kind of a mixture of silver and almost like gold as well. And then we have Cricket, and it's this dark purplish reddish burgundy brown, and it's got pinkish micro shimmers. And lastly we have Mittens, and it's this matte brown, which is great for like just using as an eyeliner even, because these shadows are always so super buttery, right?
And last thing on the list is a bunch of highlighters. And I am loving these. I remember seeing a BuzzFeed video on like an $8 highlighter versus the Guerlain like $240 highlighter, and basically out of like 5 out of 5 people that they were interviewing about it, the Colourpop ones were the ones that won because you cannot beat the price. Granted, they did not apply it right because they used a brush instead of like their fingers or a beauty blender.
Yeah.
But that being said, that still didn't steer them away from actually loving the highlighters from Colourpop.
They're so buttery, and the pigments are so gorgeous.
Exactly. First one on the list is called Over the Moon, and it's just this very light violet, lavender
kind of shimmer.
And this one that I have on right now, which I don't really know how much it's showing on the camera, called Monster. And it is very similar to Over the Moon. You can see I have a little color preference. And it's just more of a peachy tone with more toned down shimmers. It's more fine and micro shimmers compared to Over the Moon. And then I was interested in this one because a lot of people were saying it was a really good dupe for the Becca Champagne Pop, and this is called the Churro. It comes in how do you even describe this? So like splotches of different colors.
Kind of like
there should be a better way to describe
it. Like tie-dye?
I don't know. Well, as you can see, it's not like a uniform color. There's like splotches of lighter, splotches of like darker colors. And overall, when you mix it together, it's a very nice golden light highlighter that's very pronounced, just as Becca Champagne Pop would be. So last one on the list is called Wisp.
It's slightly like golden, kind of reminds me of a really nice autumn color almost as a highlighter. I can see why it's called Wisp. And that's pretty much it, I think, for all of our Colourpop haul.
Again, if you're not familiar with Colourpop eyeshadow, especially the Super Shock versions of them, make sure that you close the lid tight on them because the pigment will dry out and that will just defeat the purpose of it. And it actually says on each and every individual package for these to keep the magic in, close jar tightly after use.
And that is it for our haul for Colourpop. I hope you liked our video, and if you see anything that you have questions about, don't forget to comment down below, and don't forget to give us a big thumbs up for likes and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing videos. We'll see you next time. Bye. Did not realize that they would be in the wrong section. I was like, that does not look like a Lala.
How do you know what a Lala looks like?
It just didn't look like what Lala would look like.
That doesn't make sense.
It just didn't look like what Lala should look like.